chemist, for his modern plastics, it is actually more complicated. Essentially, he's a molecular engineer. He takes organic substances, those containing carbon, such as petroleum, cotton, wood, milk, or another source material of plastics, coal, which was, if you recall, once vegetable matter. He takes one molecule made up of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, puts it together with another molecule containing the same elements, but in different arrangement, and the reaction results in a new molecule, which looks like this. Now, this single molecule, or monomer, is like one man with a baseball. He can't play a game. 9 men don't have much steam, but put them together and you have a team. So it is with isolated monomers. They're not much use alone either. Disconnected monomers are not too hip. Make them a polymer, it has more pep. Just as our 9 men fused into a new entity, a team, so our individual monomers, by banding together, formed a new entity, a polymerized resin, with the chemist acting as coach. But his job isn't quite finished. The resin must undergo training. Does the chemist want a flexible resin? He adds a plasticizer. For other qualities, fillers. Now, once our plastic is ready to be processed, it may be treated in many ways. It may be molded. It may be laminated. When finished, it is either a thermoplastic, such as lucite, which can be remelted like ice, or a thermosetting material, such as phenylformaldehyde, which cannot be remelted, but sets like a hard-boiled egg. It wasn't until the late 1930s, however, that plastics came into their own. The little corporal beyond the Rhine marshaled his people for war. Germany, well aware of difficulties in obtaining raw materials, ordered her scientists to develop substitutes, ersatz materials. There were ersatz boots, ersatz clothes, ersatz oil. Germany was to become self-sufficient. Plastics played an essential role. When Hitler felt prepared, he attacked. Came the fall of Poland, the sweep over France, the Battle of Britain, and the march on Moscow. England, desperate for the weapons of war, turned to us for help. Lend-Lease was the answer. Conscription, unheard of in our country in time of peace, was ordered by Congress in the interests of national defense. A peaceful America, shaken from its lethargy by Pearl Harbor, took off its coat, rolled up its sleeves, and went to work. But war is a greedy monster, devouring huge mountains of raw materials, enormous stockpiles of rubber, silk, oil, and gas. Soldiers must be fed, clothed, housed, and equipped. But how? Japan had taken the Dutch East Indies. Indochina also was theirs. Singapore and Hong Kong had fallen. All the wealth of the Indies was in enemy hands. Its rubber, its tin, its great stores of oil. Silk, a predominantly Japanese product, was beyond our reach. But tanks need treads, planes need fuel, and flyers need chutes. Who was to supply them? What was to replace them? Plentiful metals replaced scarce ones. South American possibilities were explored. The research chemist in private and government laboratories redoubled his study of our most promising man-made replacement, plastics. From a modest yearly production of some 25 million pounds in 1927, the industry swelled to a total of 650 million by 1943, a gargantuan increase of 2,600%, which exceeded that of any other comparable industry, and 85% of its production was devoted to war. Whether it was in the form of a bonding agent in the plywood construction of planes and PT boats, as a protective coating such as paints or varnishes based on vinyl plastics, the diversified uses of nylon, cellophane, methyl methacrylate, or polystyrene. 17 of every 20 pounds of plastics went off to the wars. What can be made with plastics? Things as varied as buttons and batons, cosmetic containers and cockpit housings, parachutes and refrigerators, radios and razors, all contain plastics. As the need for raw materials develops, the farmer may find new industrial markets for former waste products, such as corn cobs, oat hulls, nutshells, cotton waste, and the casein in his sour milk. Perhaps the future holds plastic possibilities for China's soybeans, and for ours too, since the American production of soybeans is already half that of China. The industry has a need for chemists to explore the molecular world, engineers and mechanics to plan, execute, and perform the various processings, and designers to add grace and beauty to the utility of the finished product. For today, plastics are changing the appearance of our everyday world. As the years go by, new materials will be found, new processes discovered, and new machinery invented. Not by those now engaged in industry, but by you. With new uses, there arise new wants. New wants mean new markets and new prosperity. This world of the molecule belongs to us all. It is yours to explore, your new frontier.